Good evening, I'm Bo Williams, and welcome to The 7. Let's get a look at the Big 7 stories right now. And topping the list tonight, reaction to news that TVA's Kingston Fossil Plant could meet the wrecking ball. It's not a done deal, but it is part of a plan taking a step forward with a recent recommendation. That coal-fired power plant along the Emery River is best known for the December 2008 spill that sent a flood of water, mud, and waste ash pouring into the river, smothering neighboring properties, even crushing several houses. It was an expensive catastrophe and added to a growing chorus of voices worried about the long-term impacts of coal-based energy, ranging from disposal of waste products to protecting people and the nearby environment, plus the ongoing concerns about carbon pollution's role in climate change. Now, the disaster also spawned a multi-year cleanup process, an expensive one, which came with its own safety concerns. Workers on the project have spent years trying to sue the cleanup contractor, claiming a lack of protective measures left them with health problems and claimed a number of lives. You know, last week we told you how TVA had wrapped up an environmental impact study, part of the utility's efforts to step away from coal power, which recommends tearing down the coal-burning generators at the site, replacing them with gas-fired turbines, or potentially using the complex for storage batteries and solar cells. Today we spoke with an environmental group and the widow of an ash spill worker.
I'm so glad that TVA did step up now, after 15 years, with the ash spill, decided to change over.
TVA has moved towards some gas-fired power plants in the valley. They say they need it as an interim measure, but there are other renewable measures they could take.
Coal is a fossil fuel, so taking it off is a good thing. But replacing it with another fossil fuel, fossil gas, is not a good thing.
We're now into a 30-day waiting period for a final decision on the gas turbine option or the solar and battery option included with the environmental impact statement. Also in that document is this from TVA saying it, quote, envisions a path to 80% carbon reduction by 2035 and aspires to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Big piece of information in a deadly shooting for you tonight. Knoxville police revealing the name of the suspect, James Perry III. Investigators also putting out a call to the public, hoping somebody will spot him and turn him in. The shooting happened last Wednesday on McCowan Avenue, leaving victim Sherwin Harris dead. Last week, police told us they think it started with a fight earlier in the night at the Magnolia Cafe. Investigators want to find Perry to face charges of voluntary manslaughter and weapons crimes. Anyone with information on where to find James Perry III, you need to call East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers. 865-215-7165 is the number. You can stay anonymous, and the right information could earn you a reward. And a big decision in a lawsuit over a tragedy. A federal judge dismissing the lawsuit against the City of Knoxville coming out of the 2021 shooting at Austin East High School. That's when 17-year-old Anthony Thompson Jr. was killed, found in a school bathroom with a gun. As you may remember, the district attorney's office did not file criminal charges, and an internal investigation ruled that the 4 officers involved were justified in their actions. That's when Thompson's mother, as well as his best friend, who was also in the bathroom during the shooting, filed a civil suit. They initially claimed the 4 officers involved violated the teen's rights by unlawful seizure, excessive force, wrongful denial of medical care, and intentional infliction of emotional distress on his family. A judge dismissed those claims last fall. But the suit went forward against the Knoxville Police Department and the City of Knoxville until now. Thompson's mother claims that the Knoxville Police Department is liable for failing to provide enough training to officers. Last Wednesday, February 14th, a judge ruled to dismiss the lawsuit with prejudice, meaning that the plaintiffs cannot file another lawsuit on the same grounds. Still, an appeal in the case was filed on the 16th. Of course, we'll let you know what comes from that effort. Next on our Big 7 list, election season controversy. You know, last week, WAT received a call from Knox County District 3 School Board candidate Robert Daspit. Daspit sending us a flyer he received in the mail comparing him and his opponent, Angie Gothert, on specific issues. Now, Daspit claims the information is not true and doesn't reflect his opinion on certain issues. Gothert tells us that she had nothing to do with the mailer. It was sent by the group East Tennesseans for a Strong Education. The mailing address connected to the group tracks to a UPS store on Kingston Pike. Now, we asked WAT's political contributor, George Corda, if third-party groups are now becoming more involved in school board races.
What's happening is more and more national political action committees are getting involved in funding campaigns in local school board races, just like national PACs and other organizations are funding presidential. They're not with the campaign, but they're doing it to support the campaign, but they're separate.
As for what this means for future elections, Corda believes races will become more heated with more money poured into them. A big effort next to support the Blount County Sheriff's Office after the killing of one deputy and the wounding of another. It's been about a week and a half since the shooting that claimed the life of Deputy Greg McCowan. Deputy Shelby Eggers was injured in that incident. Today, one Maryville restaurant plans to send all of its proceeds from its food sales to the Sheriff's Office for the families of the two deputies involved. According to Two Doors Down, the downtown Maryville restaurant has served Deputy McCowan countless times. Since his death, they have wanted to give back to the families of both McCowan and Eggers. And many people, whether they are law enforcement, first responders, or just caring residents, wanted to come out to support today.
Being from a small town community right here, everybody knows each other. So everybody's always there for each other. And to sit there and watch everybody, kind of like, I don't want to really say enjoy themselves, but to sit there and come together and fellowship with each other, it's good to see.
Restaurant says it will give all food sales minus tax to McCowan's family. All other donations will be given to Deputy Eggers. Based on the amount of people who turned out today, Two Doors Down is hopeful to give the Sheriff's Office a large donation. Well, next Friday, the Cotton Eye Joe in Farragut will be hosting a benefit concert in honor of Deputy McCowan. It will feature musicians Matt Stillwell, the Chillbillies, and John O'Clayton. Admission is $20 with all proceeds going back to the McCowan family. Doors, by the way, for that special event open at 4:30. Our next Big 7 and 7 story for you, a crime alert. Officers searching for the person accused of hitting a Jefferson City police cruiser head on. Take a look at your screen here for a moment. This is 53-year-old James Rucker of Newport. Jefferson City Police say the situation started around 7 o'clock Saturday night when officers were responding to a possible theft at a store on Broadway Boulevard. Police say Rucker took off in a black Jeep, but suddenly turned back, picking up speed and allegedly hitting the police cruiser on purpose. We're told the officer was not injured. Police say the Jeep has since been found by White Pine Police just off I-81. However, they have not yet found Rucker. He is charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, felony reckless endangerment, theft, and several other charges. Jefferson City Police urge anyone who sees Rucker to call 911.